and the specific segment only, that is a focus, that should be a focus. Then see the some of the as I already discussed, some of the advantages and disadvantage in the differentiations, because if we analyze the things, if we differentiate with the other companies pricing and other thing, then very easily we can fix our price, we can value it, and what are the value by the customers and the various factors. It is the excess of amount or not, loss due to differentiation. So, all these parts at a glance we can see it. Focus as such, there is a selection of a market, which segment area, where you have to sell out with the sale your product, or the group of segments, that also we have to see as an industrial point of view. So, now tangible and intangibles, the component of the differentiations. Tangible basically your design, packaging, and your style, quality, these all are your tangible parts. Now, intangible part is basically your image, brandings, basically the brand, and company reputations, and your customer preferences. So, all these part is basically your intangibles. So, that chart is very important. Then we have to go for unit number 8, that is a competitive strategy. Where it is a formation, how to formation of the corporate strategy, what are the points to be considered, framework, and your moves, competitive moves, the dimension of the competitive strategy, what are the dimensions are there. Then fragmented industries and the competitive strategy parts, emerging the industries, what are the emerging parts, and why the declining the industry, why the industry are declining, that part also you have to see, and that is the way you have to fix it. Now, first thing is formulation of the competitive strategy. So, during that part, during the formulation of the strategy, you have to consider this thing, explicit and the implicit. This means external and internal, both the part and the nature and the environment, that you have to consider. And finally, the combination of both, considering the things, you have to decide your value, core values, expectations of the society, to develop the realistic competitive strategy. Framework for the competitor analysis, and there are 4 components: future goal, current strategy, assumptions, capabilities. Moves, now competitive moves, that is cooperative, cooperative or non-cooperative, or basically the threatenings and the sales. Then dimension of the competitive strategies, the specializations, it is a branding, push or push by pull versus pull, door to door supply, distribution channels, quality product, then your technological leaderships, vertical integrations, cost positions, pricing policies, strategic business units relationships. These all are the component, basically there your different dimensions, which your type of business, and you have to decide your dimensions. Emerging industries and competitive strategy. There is some structural environment there. There are so many modes are there, different modes of structure is there, that I will discuss in the next unit. Now, declining industries and the competitive strategy, that is you have to see the harvest strategy, that is called the harvest strategy, why the company is declining, what to do, what type of project to be launched, comparing the market. Then in the decline phases, uncertainty and exit barriers, pockets of the demand. Suppose sometimes the strategy also not only the new project only, suppose the existing projects are there, maybe some problem is going on, or the strategy is, shall we stop the business or not, or we can start say as a fresh or new product launch dimension. So there are so many things aspects are there. So declining industries are also important, where you have to decide the competitive strategy part. Then there are some of the diagrams are there. There is a competitive strategy as a whole. There is a will are given. The goals, basically goals are already encompasses, or you can see the component of the things, where the product range and other things are there, and logistics is also one of the part. Then workforce, then your manufacturing units, manufacturing part, these are all are to be considered. Then see the competitive strategy, where it is again the 4 compartments are there. That is your expectation of the society, then your external factors you have to consider it, then your internal factors also have to consider it, and basically the core values of the company. So that is the way you have to decide your competitive your advantage strategy. Now analysis, competitors analysis is very important at the time of deciding the corporate or any strategy of the business strategy corporate or activities. So you have to analyze this first, your competitors, his current strategy, what they are doing, their capabilities, their future goals and assumptions. So that is basically the database you have to prepare. You have to collect by the survey, or maybe by the interactions or different way. You have to collect the competitors database, and finally you have to analyze is where they stands, and accordingly where you can fit it. When your strategy, your dimensions or your product, where there stands for these things. Because if we not analyze the competitors analysis, if we not and go in details, then maybe I will be wrong, because in the market customer satisfaction and other product may not be acceptable by the society and all these things. So we have to consider the competitors. That's why the analysis is very important. Now again there are some environmental emerging industries are there. That is the structural part is shown. And then some of the market positions also they are since because industry environment also you have to consider it. It is an alternative, because the strategic alternatives in decline condition. Then you have to see some of the alternatives, how to survive or how to make the growth or continue the growth conditions. Then nature and scope of the corporate strategy, that is also important. Life cycles, maturity, you have to see how much it is a 10 years or 5 years, when it required to be innovations or upgradation is required, augmented. So all this part is also important. The life cycle is very important things, and when it is matured, then you have to take some strategy part. It will still continue or not. That is the threshold point. That the time is there. Before coming to threshold point, you have to decide the things. So that's why the nature of the scope of the corporate strategy is very important. And type of the corporate strategy is also important, because you see that it is a stability, you have to consider it, then growth, retrenchment and combinations. Suppose the particular you have decided something, it may not be so much effective, so you combine some of the other things also. So parallelly you have to see it, so that you can get a good profit, or it can be sellable, more market oriented. So business satisfaction and stability strategy is basically the maintain their current business. You have to maintain the things, so that your share market values, your customer satisfaction, services, everything should be stable. There should not be any up downs. So, satisfy the growth, focus on the fine tuning. You have to sometimes you have to fine tuning, maybe the pricing. Basically, you can give some offer or bonus something. So, when the market is little bit declining or your market, I mean the market share is falling down, you just take care about this. You have to fine tune some of the things. Basically, for the focusing on the fine tuning of the pricing, that is the main things. Offer different offers like this. Improve the functional efficiency also. Sometimes the product in the product line you can have a new features you can add it and give a some of the in the market, so that that features can be acceptable by the social systems. So, this is the way you have to make it stable. In order to make the stables, you have to consider, you have to put on some of the things. Then expansion strategies are maintaining to the competitive positions and market penetrations, also expansion. Suppose you have to penetrate a new market, new product, you have to launch it for on behalf of the expansion business. So, that part are also, so that you can have a better organizations, you can maintain your growth of the company. Diversification is another strategy part, that is moving into new lines of the business, totally different business, but the core value will be the remain same, but apart from that you have to different line of product you can start, that is some you can diversify, moving into new lines, and the related diversifications also. I can give you one of the example for the diversification. For example, the transmission networks, the power stations, power transmission companies, they have already infrastructure is theirs, electrical already that infrastructure already, tower is there, transmission lines are theirs, cables are going on. So, in the top they can put in the earthware, they can replace the earthware there, you can have fiber optic cables, and inside the fiber optic cables the earthware is already there, surrounding by the other fibers. So, that is the way they can have a market of communication market they can start. That a lot of companies they can start it already, the diversification as a communication system also, power system as well as your communication systems also they have launched, because they are already infrastructure is there, core value of the companies already remains same, and as a diversion probabilities. So, then another the retrenchment strategies, that is the basically the last stages when there is no options, you can have that strategy, you can cut down some of the things, you can first you cut down the production lines or the pricing and all this part. Apart from that, if it is still something fine tune, further fine tuning is required, you can go for the cut down your manpower also, human power, manpowers temporarily. Then again the situation will be good, your market value is improved, you can again call them in your company. So, that is the retrenchment strategy is also important, but it helps to reduce the operations basically, and it cuts expenses of the achieve the financial stability. For the financial stability, that part is your retrenchment strategy is very important, because there are so many options are there, and last option is cut down the manpower, because that is you have to see the human grounders also. So, now basically the corporate strategy give you the blueprint, it is a blueprint for the organization's growth you see, and it concerns the choice of the business and your product of the markets, and it helps identify the your organization's viewpoint, and all it is above the average returns. So, that is also considered, because return is also very important for the company. So, the strategy, the corporate strategy where it is a blueprint means you can have a assess where the how to company can improve further. The major components are the growth or the directional growth or directional strategy, then your portfolio strategy, and your corporate penetrating strategy. These all are the major components. Now then, your corporate level strategies are also termed as the grand strategies, also you can consider it. Normally there are 4 pi type of the generic corporate strategies are there. So they are the stability strategies, growth strategies, then your retrenchment strategies already you have discussed, and combination strategies, where they combine the some of the strategies you can combine it. For example, your retrenchment strategies and your diversion strategy, you are combined something. You have to retrench some of the things and you can divert of these things, or you can reshuffle the manpowers to the new range of products lines. That is also a part of your combination strategies also. Now the broad ways to execute the your diversification strategies are basically we can see what the way the diversification strategies are implemented. There is a mergers and the acquisition. This is one of the important area. That is the mergers and acquisition. It is involved the process of the combining 2 companies into one. That is we can say it's the mergers. And after the acquisition, now we have to merge it. A joint ventures, it is a 2 or more organizations from a separate independent organizations, but they have a joint ventures. Some agreement was there, but their entity is different. They are separate in independent organizations, but they are the business is a combined. Long term contract, then your strategic alliances, a lot of alliances are there. This is the way your things. Now we have to go for the behavioral dimensions of a during the implementation part. There we have to see the strategic changes, then your how to match the organization structures to the strategy. That also have to see different worldwide different countries are different structures are there, organization structures, and they are doing the strategies also combined in different way. Then your leadership you have to see, basically here the leadership for implementing the strategy. What are the strategies decided by the management, how to implement it. So that's why the some leadership, good leadership is required for the implementations. Functions of the leaderships also have to see it. What are the functions? Then your styles, leadership style, corporate culture, and ethics and the values. That is the way that's the unit are contained. Now just some of the functional leadership diagram is there. It is need of tasks, because what are the needs, that is also important. Then your needs of the groups are important, then needs of the individuals also important. These all are interconnected. You see the circle, the diagram, these all are integrated in such a way. It is or other way I can say it is synchronized. It is synchronized way, and give a some one unit. It is shows as a one unit. The set are combined the sets. So leadership functions, all the functions should be integrated in such a way. Now again some of the part is there. It shows some model is there, that is by the cards models. You say that is where the skills, he has defined the different skill levels. What are the components should be there? Different levels, your senior levels, senior management levels, then your middle management and the junior management. Where what type of skill is required, that is the part. But in the see from the diagram that their senior management, they should have a more your conceptual skills is required more, rather than their human relations or technical maybe little than less is required. So conceptual skill is required more. You see the diagram, the component or the way it is sliding, the part is there. Now we see the middle management, where the area, human resource area is more, that section part is more. It means they require more skill, human relation skills is required more. Technical skill is also required, conceptual required is also required, but less. But all the skill is required, technical, human relations, conceptual skills is required. Undoubtedly everywhere it is required, but you see the percentage. If you see the percentage, now coming to the junior management level, you see the conceptual skills is very less, just nominal part. But there they should have a skill, technical skill is required more, because they are the frontliners and they have to do the product operation part. So that skill is required, technical skill they require more, and then human skill is required. So this diagram basically shows the level of the management and what type of skill basically is required. Now corporate governance. Corporate governance here is very important, because again it should be a part of your strategy yourself, and if it is a good governance, definitely your strategy is also to be fulfilled, and your product, your company reputation will be improved. I mean, publicly can be acceptable more. So business ethics you have to see, then your pillars of the corporate governance, that also you have to discuss. Then the models, different model of the corporate governance and the strategy, how it has integrated, and then your challenges of the corporate governance, that part also you have to now see as a general discussions. Now corporate governance is a systems of the directions and control that dictates how a board of directors governs and oversees a company. So that means how important it is, you can understand from there. So it is an integral part of business life. I am just categorically written some of the points only here, so that we can elaborate after that if the question is coming in related to this. This is the food point, this is basically the points, and you can elaborate. It is the way. There are two aspects, one is your internal structures and your external structures. Both the things are important when you are considering the corporate governance. So in order to ensuring an efficient organizations and have been using corporate governance as a code of practices, basically codes of best practices are required. You should have some different policies, your code of practices are required, then only you can have a good corporate governance. There should be some of the policies, guidelines, penalties, everything should be written in a very unique way. Business organizations should follow, as mentioned, there is a proper utilization of assets, number one. That is it shows your good governance. So utilization of the assets, optimum utilization of the resources, whatever it is, and available resources. What are the available resources? You should not depend on the resources of others. Accountability and transparency in all dealings. I am repeating once again these sentences. Accountability and transparency in all dealings. What about the dealings? Tendering, quotations, issuing the contract, everywhere there should be transparency, should be there. When there should not be compromised the value of the companies, ethics of the companies. That is the main thing for the ethical point of view. That is the main things. Transparency. Maintenance of the wealth and resources. What about the things are there in the company? Even in the civil computer or some of the pen dusters, whatever the things are in the things, that should not be wasted, because that is your wealth. So you have to maintain even in the machineries also. What are the machineries? Machine is going on. So proper maintenance, healthcare, and human, and the point of the employees also. We have to take care of their health. Good medical facility should be there. You have to maintain their health also. So protection of the shareholders' wealth and other issues, because the public, those who are invested good money, enough money to the company, they are also waiting to for the good returns from their investment, interest and whatever it is. So, their wealth should not be wasted, that is also your part of your good governance. Now, certain common features are there in the business ethics. What are the things? It guides the organization to be a good corporate citizen. Good corporate citizen. It will give a guidance. It defines what is being done and what to be done. It tells about the corporate social responsibility. Corporate governance. It shows what is right and what is wrong. It deals with the operating issues in an organization. So, these all are valid point to maintain the business ethics of a company. Pillars of a corporate governance, that is accountability, fairness, transparency, integrity and social responsibility. These all are 5 pillars. We can say these all are 5 pillars of a corporate governance. If all these pillars you have in your organizations, you can declare, you can say is a good corporate company. Even the public, shareholders, your investors will be happy enough. Yes, where I have invested the money, this company having all these pillars, all these features they have. Now, that is some of the corporate governance and how this is related to strategy. That relationship we have to see it. It is because the part of the implementation and the control, that is very much required. So, corporate governance basically you see the inside in the core area, there is corporate governance is there. Outer, it is some strategy, then objectives, goals, values, then your missions, whatever the things are there is a corporate governance. Now, in the outside things, also the organizational structures, then your monitoring the controls, transparency and accountability, policies, business things and the legal issues, legal parameters, whatever the things. So, here actually is a combination of your how we can merge or how we can see the align with the corporate governance and the strategy, we can align both. That diagram is very important. If you consider this diagram in your mind, then you can write everything. You can better way you can understand the things. So, this is the corporate governance and this is the company's strategy structures and how it has interlinked with these things. So, this is the part. Now, challenges of the corporate governance. Definitely some challenge should be there. Board appointment, sometimes the independent directors appointment is very sometimes difficult. Company should not be biased with anything. Political pressure should not be, they should not consider the political things. They have to try to avoid the things. That is all are challenges basically, because sometimes it may not be possible for the political pressures and other things. Because of what are the directors are there, sometimes they are not take a strategy part, maybe their individual conflict will be there, but independent directors can give a better view ideas. He is independent, he is not his interest is there, no doubt, he is also a part of this board, but his opinion is to be considered. So, that is why it is also a challenge. Most of the companies, they are not reluctant to take some independent directors. It is a vacant, that post is already vacant, that should not be. Performance evaluations of the directors is very important, because now it is again a challenge. The director, how he has declared I am right or wrong. So, that is a challenge basically. Appointment of independent directors, as I said, accountability towards the stockholders. You have to press release or some way you have to in the annual report you have to say something to the, so that time some things are hiding, sometimes they are hiding the things, that some transparency is not there. So that is a challenging part. Role of a promoters, that also have to see. Then conflict in organizations, sometimes it is not come out, public are not aware of all these things, maybe they are not reluctant to disclose the things in the publicly because it is destroy or the image of the company. So that is all are part of your challenges of the corporate governance. So level of mistrust, then conflict did not come. Sometimes some of the things are not leaking basically. So anyhow, this is the part of things. Now coming to control, where you see the functional strategies, then your strategic control process, operational controls, performance standards, analysis and the follow up of the action of the control, then your problems of the control systems, type of strategic controls and differences between the operational and strategic control that you have to see. Now with the completion of the strategy implementation, the organization looks forward to achieving the desired goals and objectives. So that is the true fact. Even every company are looking forward to how to complete as early as possible or within the time frame they have to try to finish it up so that they can achieve the goals. The process of controlling the management, a company can accurately tell if plans are moving in the right directions or the fully implemented or not. So during the process itself, you can identify, if you have a good control systems, you can identify that very easily. Yes, we can, this milestone we have achieved, second milestone we have achieved, third and finally you have achieved the, what are the milestones as desired milestone we can reach there. So that's why the process, during the process of controlling is very important. It shows or it gives signals, indications, you are in the right direction or not. Suppose the first milestone you are achieved somehow good, but after the process of first milestone to second milestone, some process problems has arisen, some things maybe. So if you have a good process control systems, then you can give signals or idea, immediately the process you can stop, you can hold sometimes, you can modify the things and you can go proceed further. So that's why the process control is very important part during the implementation. Then up to finally you can declare, yes, I fulfill the implementations and during this period I have modified such and such things. What are the actual design or actual decided part, slight modification I have done, fine tune, and now the process is absolutely 100% pure and no problems. So that's why it is control part is required. It helps to give you indications where you are. External environment is this may not actually follow the trend as expected, because suppose we have expected some things during the process, during the preparation of the strategies, there may be a lot of assumptions were taken. Based on this assumption, where some of the things are there. So that external environment as variables, that variables are changing because the things. So the planning, at the time of planning strategy time, so what we have expected basically, but sometimes it may be different. So that's why the external environment may not actually follow the trend as was expected at the time of planning times. In between we may change it like this. Internal changes within the organizations, such as organizational systems consisting of structural policies and the procedures, may not reflect in the harmony with the strategy. That is also a part. Unexpected moves of the competitors might create a major gaps in the strategy, which we have planned. Some of the strategy planning, we have to do these things. Our product should be like this. So first month we have to do. So, but the competitors has changes drastically. They have their strategy. They have changed some things. So accordingly, you also have to decide what to do. Means maybe again you have to also rethinking, redesign, or maybe some changes may require in the planning also itself, considering the competitors' viewpoints. So that's why it is the unexpected moves. Sometimes it happens. The factors will require a continuous. That's why this part is evaluation part is there. Now the evaluation is in pictures now. So you have continuously have to evaluate it. You have to evaluate, give a feedbacks, and do these things, and control the strategy accordingly based on the evaluations, based on the feedbacks, which are to be modified, which are to be required to be change required accordingly. As there is a change management part is there. You have to make your strategy to align with the systems. So on the functional strategies, the strategies have to be ultimately translated into business operations. That is basically what we have decided the functionally. Now we have to transfer. You have to transfer transformation or transfer like this in the business operation part. So functional policies provide the guidelines to the operating managers or operator supervisor. They have to train accordingly. They have to learn the things. They have to train, and finally they should do this. How to implement the strategies. Decisions are made effectively for that. Similar situations are handled consistently. Coordination across the functional unit takes. What are the different functional areas are there? How to coordinate so that it can be all the unit can be fulfill their tasks and take jointly and together. So organizations may frame the bonus and the dividend policies also. Financial policies may even determine the account keeping, that is your LIFO and FIFO, or you can say last and your last in and first output, outgoing basically, and first in and first out. This is the way is the effect the considering the profitability and the balance sheet, and hence the cash flow through the tax, dividend, bonus, etc. So financial policies are also very important here, because suppose your planning is good, your strategy is good, control system is also good, your evaluation is also, everything are fine, no problem, but there is no financial control. You don't have a financial policies, so then you cannot reach your profitable which you have decided at that point. So financial policy is also very important and the part of your overall strategies, where you have to see your profit persons and the profitability that you have to calculate it separately, and the balance sheet, your asset, your liabilities, then your cash flow, working capitals, taxes, dividend, bonus, etc. Everything should be part of your strategy. So product design, product distribution, pricing and promotions is also a P for 5 P's. R&D is also another aspect in the functional policies, because without R&D you cannot develop the things. So that is one of the part. Again, there is some finance part is there. You have to have some fund is to generate for these R&D purposes. You have to develop the things, because otherwise your product range, you cannot increase your product range. Different features is required. So that's why R&D is also your part of your control systems or evaluation or overall strategy parts. So functional policies will be necessary in the area of personal management also, because compensation packages, salary systems, or whatever the allowances should be good, so that the employees can be motivated. So that's why the compensation policies or compensation package should be attractive. Incentive systems should be there, best out of the, so that you can have people can give their contributions in a layer, in a top gear, as per the whatever their desired positions in the organization, necessary for the grooming internal people for new positions. Suppose you are a new product range or new project manager is required, so you have to groom him fast. Then after that you can, before deploying, before transfer or before something, so you have to that, before going to that positions, before executing the strategy or planning or works, whatever it is, he has to groom himself. Knowledge, technical knowledge, skill, ideas, conceptual ideas, everything they should have. So, and not only that, it is also necessary, so that if any problems coming, they can able to face the things. You can control in a very good manner, take a right decisions at that times. So problem becomes accurate in the context of the, basically the turnaround strategies times is very problem, because that time you have to skilled leadership is required. How to turn, how to company can be profitable, that strategy is required. Consecutively 2-3 years the company is declining or profit margin is very less. So that time your turnaround strategy is very important, how to develop the company, more compensation package or the strategy point of view. Everywhere you have to changes, drastically changes are required, and so that you can have a good company profiles. I mean the growth can be again revived. Earlier the curve is down, now again it is turning off, the curve should be up. That is the turning around, basically you have to see it, that is the positions. So that's why different the problems, how to solve the problems, expert people are required. Then your another part is your different methods are there. There is a budget is there, audit. Through this way also you can give some inputs, what is the right or wrong dimensions of where the area to be required more attentions. So budget from where you can, where the lagging, we are lagging or leading, or where the money is required more, where you can restrict the money fund. So fund allocations and fund diversions, whatever the things, you can from the budget itself you can have a picturize, you can picture the things where you are, the company things. Audit is also sometimes give some guidance also, all the design, manpower, strategy, planning, everything are in the right direction or not. So audit is also required internally and externally also. There are so many methods are there, techniques are there to identify the things for analysis purposes. CPM, PER, there is a critical path methods, then PERT is there also there. So and another thing is a MBO, there is a management by the objectives. These all are the techniques and the methods. Through this way you can better you can control the operation systems. Budgets are one of the most widely used control methods, because the budget means a plan of income and expenditures. What are the income? What are the expenditures? That can be balanced basically. It usually deals with the allocation of the resources. Basically, what are the resources are funding there, and you have to allocate the things. And resource budgeting, basically what are the, yes, that part is required there, this part is not required. Different organization units, different units are there. You have to allocation of the your resources very smooth way, and judicially you have to utilize it. Now, problems of the control systems. Everywhere some problem will be there, so may not be consensus of the criteria, and it may be based on the outputs, the system to be unfair. So, there some of the things are there, and it is very difficult to set because it is a good, average or poor. So, sometimes the level of the performance are not you cannot straightway you can define. Type of the your strategic controls. There are 4 types strategic controls. Your premise control, then your special alert control, implementation control, and strategic surveillances. These all are the type of control systems. Then you are coming to the evaluation part, where to see the process, strategic evaluation process, and where the first thing the strategy formulations, that is the main thing. Then after that strategy implementations, and finally the evaluations. So, first formulations, then implementations, and then your evaluations. So, evaluation process it is involves the control mechanisms which helps taking the correct actions. So, in one sentences evaluation will give you the where the your action to be taken, or where the your basically the measuring part for fine tuning, or where it is required, that part the evaluation give you the inputs. Then some of the correction actions are given, and I mean the based on the, this is also a part of your evaluation purposes for the control, because the control and evaluations are parallelly the same almost, because the without control you cannot give the, you cannot evaluate the things, because the feedback is coming from the evaluation, again you can recycle, you can that feedback you can giving the control. It is a cyclic order. Both the component, the control and evaluations are parallelly, jointly they have to done all these things. Their completion, without this single in a separate way they cannot any functions of theirs. So, both way they are combining the, ultimately they have to give some output. It is a continuous process. Basically the evaluations, then some feedback is coming, that is a part of your output of the evaluations, but now what are the output of the evaluations? That is the input of the control, basically control unit. So, again control unit are doing something, and then again some of the output from the control systems again is evaluated. So, this is the process is going on. So, here actually some of the diagrams are given for the reward and the corrections, corrective actions, the possibilities, analysis part. And basically here some differentiating the what are the standards which are the desired things, that is coming or not. If it is not there, the gaps is there, that gap has to be filled out. So, that is why some standard things are required. How far we have achieved that parameters or not, that has to be matter, that has to be looked. Some tolerance levels may be there, that tolerance level we have achieved or not. So, some of the companies various business activities is given. So here actually some of the business types, the cow, star, dog, and your questions type is given. Cow means basically where the cash source are more and cash use are less, net cash balance, the funds available just for milk. Other way I can say because your sources is, your market source is good, I mean product is also good, and your production is also good. I mean the cow is the activities, one can say a continuity. I mean there is no hamper, there is no problem in the company itself. Star is the build competitive positions and the grow showing. Dog basically the business type where it is a growing, but market share is not there. I mean both the conditions are less. In the case of cash source is also less and cash use is more. I mean that is the way I am not reaching the things. So that's why we have to I mean we have to focus on that area, that it is not a advisables in the dog systems. Dog type of business is should not be advisables. So you have to change it. So these are some chart is given. Now some BSc is given, some one of the your balanced scorecard. There is also another method. Through this way also you can evaluate the things. Customer perspectives, what are the different perspectives are there, personal perspectives and your business perspectives, and learning and growth are also important. So these all are the four part is there. Your balance scorecard based on this means it is a based on this you can perform, you can identify where you are, your companies, all this activity you have or not. Then only you can say it is a evaluation part. You are evaluated the things. Now evaluation systems in your multi-business organization, this is the characteristics as the follows: must be economical and should be neither too much or too little, should neither be too much too little, it should be balanced and related to the organization's objectives. True features is portrayed. So these all are basically the evaluations in the case of in a multi-business organizations. Some of the characteristics as given. Now I think I have almost to cover up the things. Now I can some of the points I can say the pattern of the questions in the last year questions, last exam question paper. I can tell you what are the type of question patterns are there. It is a IGNOU exam for the June 2025. This is your MMPC 0012 strategic management. The question is just 1 month before the exam was there. So what do you mean by the strategy? These are questions are there. All the questions are 20 marks I think. Yeah, there are 5 questions out of 8. 5 questions you have to answer it. So all the answer equal marks means 100 marks to 20 marks. So question is what do you mean by the strategy? Discuss the features of the strategy with examples. So that is your 20 marks questions are there. Question number 2, write short notes on the following. Some of the short notes are there. There are 2 parts, part A and part B, 10 marks and 10 marks, 20 marks. Core values, you have to, as a short note you have to write it. So core values 10 marks, so maybe 100 words or 150 words like this. Then strategic intent, at the initially you have discussed what is the intent of your strategy. So they have to explore the things, you have to written like this. That is my intent, this is the way I have to go it. So, some statement you have to decide for things. Again 10 marks. Question number 3, explain the various mode of entry in the global markets with examples. That also we have discussed in the I think block number 2 or something. How to penetrate in the market. There are so many ways you can penetrate in the market. Acquisition, merger, licensing, franchises. So, there are so many ways you can enter in the market. So, this is the question 20 marks. And definitely you have to give an example also, all the questions. Now, question number 4 is briefly summarize what you understand by the general environment and is relevant in the business. So, to generalizing there are internal environments, external environments, how it has effect in the impact in the business. So, that all this part you have to explain, and it is relevant things you have to write it, and with the example also. So, question number 4 is 20 marks like this. Question number 5 is your explain the concept of resource based views, resource based view of strategic management. Further discuss the relationship among the sources, capabilities and competitive advantages. All are I hope you can able to write something. Then question number 6 is what is the role of a cost in business growth. Explain the porter's cost in the leadership with respect to generic strategies, which I think I have shown you some of the diagrams, what are the generic strategies are there. Then you have to expand it. Again it is a 20 marks questions. What is competitive strategy? Discuss dimension for the formulations of the competitive strategy with illustrations. And the last questions 8 is what is diversification strategy? Explain the alternative routes of the diversification. So, that is this type of questions actually why I am discussing, so that you can accordingly you can prepare yourselves totally the strategic management part. This type of questions normally are coming, so you have to prepare accordingly. So, I hope that earlier the 4 sessions from the block wise, and then last 2 sessions today and before the review I have reviewed the things. So, that is the complete MMPC 0 and 2. So, total 6 sessions was there. I think you can, those who have missed sessions earlier, they can see from the COE live channel, Science Prover channels, you can have these things. From the YouTube, you only have to write coelive.com, and if you put the HRM or my name, immediately you can get all the videos. You can prepare yourselves like this. So, okay, I think thank you very much. Thank you.